Breaking international news. We kick off today's report with a monumental legal and political earthquake out of the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Former President Joseph Kabila has been sentenced to death in absentia on charges of treason and a host of war crimes. This landmark ruling is centered on accusations that Kabila has been providing support to the deadly M23 rebel group, which has devastated the country's eastern region. The conviction, handed down by a military court, includes gruesome charges such as murder, sexual assault, torture, and insurrection. Kabila has publicly rejected the case as arbitrary, calling the courts an instrument of oppression. He was not present for the ruling, and his current whereabouts are unknown. Don't miss the full story and all the top international headlines. Make sure to subscribe to the News 360 channel and hit that notification bell so you get our complete reports every single day. Former DRC President Joseph Kabila sentenced to death in absentia. Former President Joseph Kabila of the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, has been convicted and sentenced to death in absentia on a range of serious charges, including treason and war crimes. The landmark ruling was handed down on a recent Friday by a military court, which found the former head of state guilty on all counts. The core of the prosecution's case centered on accusations that Kabila has been actively supporting the M23 rebel group. The M23, a formidable and well-equipped militia, has been responsible for widespread devastation and a renewed conflict across the DRC's mineral-rich eastern region, displacing hundreds of thousands of people and sparking a humanitarian crisis. Details of the conviction. Kabila was convicted of a lengthy list of offenses that fall under the categories of treason, crimes against humanity, and war crimes. Specifically, the charges included treason, crimes against humanity, war crimes including murder, sexual assault, torture, insurrection. The severity of the verdict, the death penalty, reflects the gravity with which the court viewed the evidence of his alleged collaboration with the M23, an armed group viewed by the government as a primary threat to national security and stability. Kabila's response and status. Joseph Kabila, who governed the DRC for 18 years from 2001 to 2019, has forcefully rejected the case, labeling the proceedings as arbitrary. He maintains that the country's judicial system is being weaponized and used as an instrument of oppression by his political rivals. Kabila was tried and convicted in absentia, as his current whereabouts are unknown. He has maintained a low public profile since the current ruling coalition stripped him of his political influence and removed his allies from key posts following his departure from the presidency. This conviction marks an unprecedented legal challenge to a former head of state in the DRC, potentially escalating political tensions as the country grapples with ongoing conflict in the east. The story of the M23 and Joseph Kabila's presidency are deeply intertwined with the decades of conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo's east. Here is an overview of both the history of the M23 rebel group and the key aspects of Joseph Kabila's 18-year rule. 1. The history and nature of the M23 rebel group. The March 23rd movement, M23, is a notorious armed group operating primarily in the North Kivu province of eastern DRC. The name itself is a reference to a failed peace agreement and a cycle of conflict that has plagued the region for decades. Origins and First Rebellion, 2012-2013. Predecessor. The M23 is an offshoot of a previous Rwandan-backed militia known as the National Congress for the Defense of the People, CNDP. The March 23rd Accord, 2009. The CNDP signed a peace agreement with the DRC government on March 23, 2009, which stipulated that its fighters would be integrated into the Congolese National Army, FARDC, and its political wing would become an official party. Formation of M23, 2012. In 2012, hundreds of former CNDP soldiers mutinied from the FARDC. They claimed the government had failed to uphold the terms of the 2009 Accord, particularly regarding pay, rank, and the security of Congolese Tutsi communities, their claimed constituency. This mutiny led to the formation of the M23. Key attacks. The M23 rebellion quickly gained international attention in late 2012 when it successfully captured the strategic provincial capital of Goma, a city of over 1 million people. International pressure led them to withdraw after 11 days. Defeat. The M23 was ultimately defeated in 2013 by a joint force of the FARDC and the UN's Intervention Brigade, MONUSCO, with many fighters fleeing to neighboring Rwanda and Uganda. Resurgence. Late 2021. Present. The second campaign. After years of dormancy, the M23 resumed its offensive in late 2021. Military success. The group has since proven highly effective, seizing large swaths of territory, strategic towns, and key roads in North Kivu province, exacerbating one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Regional accusations. The DRC government, as well as several UN reports, have consistently accused Rwanda of supporting and fighting alongside the M23 an allegation Rwanda denies. These accusations are central to the current instability. The recent treason charges against Kabila stem from the accusation that he is now collaborating with this very group, which he fought against during his own presidency. 2. The presidency of Joseph Kabila, 2001 to 2019. Joseph Kabila's nearly 2 decades in power were defined by the country's transition from war to nominal peace, attempts at democracy, and persistent governance challenges. Rise to power, 2001. Assassination of Laurent Désiré Kabila. Joseph Kabila became president in January 2001 at the age of 29, immediately following the assassination of his father, then President Laurent Désiré Kabila, during the devastating Second Congo War, 1998 to 2003, also known as the Great African War. Ending the war. As the new young president, Kabila was instrumental in negotiating the 2002 peace accords that officially ended the war and led to a transitional government. Democratic transition and rule. 2006 election. He won the country's first multi-party elections in over 40 years in 2006, giving him democratic legitimacy. 2011 election. He was controversially re-elected in 2011 in a poll that was widely criticized by international and domestic observers for fraud and irregularities. The M23 conflict, the initial M23 rebellion, took place largely under Kabila's watch, 2012-2013. His government was ultimately responsible for securing the UN-backed military defeat of the group in 2013. Crisis and departure. 2016 to 2019. Constitutional crisis. Kabila's second term was constitutionally mandated to end in December 2016. However, he refused to step down, delaying the election multiple times, citing logistical and security challenges. This led to mass protests, violent suppression, and a protracted political crisis. 2018 election. Under immense domestic and international pressure, elections were finally held in December 2018. The official results saw Félix Tshisekedi win, in what many observers, including the Catholic Church's Observer Mission, claimed was an election that was manipulated to prevent a true opposition leader from winning. Many analysts believe a secret power-sharing agreement was struck between Kabila and Tshisekedi. Departure. Kabila peacefully stepped down in January 2019, marking the first peaceful transition of power in the DRC since its independence in 1960. He remained a powerful figure, however, as a senator for life, and through his political coalition, which controlled parliament and much of the government. The breakdown in charges. Kabila's alliance with President Tshisekedi eventually collapsed, with Tshisekedi systematically dismantling Kabila's political influence. The death sentence for treason is the most dramatic culmination of this political feud, essentially accusing the former president of abandoning the state to collaborate with his greatest security threat.